welcome to today's little bit of a video about the new mats from Lee at Artistix. So we're going to be using the dual-ended mat, and it measures 15 inches long. And this new dual-ended mat means that we can do a background scan or a full 12x12 scan without the mat popping out the back, which the previous dual-ended ones were doing. So it kind of gets around that issue. So while we can't cut the full 15 inches, it's there to kind of keep the mat in place. And you can expect the usual kind of setup with the sticky area. So it's exactly the same adhesive as the normal mats. You have all the same registration marks that you would normally expect, and your protective paper. So make sure that we're reapplying this as soon as we're finished using the mat, and you'll keep your mat nice and clean. If you do need to clean it, a lint roller is best, so that you can just very lightly go over the surface. With a newer mat, what you're going to find is you're going to find that particularly tricky, so let it kind of get a little bit dusty first, so you've got plenty to pick up, and then you should be able to find that your lint roller will roll. If it's not rolling, just roll it on your clothes first. So if you're wearing like a jumper or something like that, just do that, just so that we remove some tack from the lint roller to get you started. Okay, so we're going to pick which end we want to load in first. Now I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to be doing a bit of scanning. So as that's the key benefit of the mat, we'll go with that one. And I'm going to use something that is already printed. So this card was from Chocolate Brook, so let's pop that on there. Now, because I'm wanting to scan, I'm going to put it 1 inch in, 1 inch down from this top corner. So that means that we have our maximum amount of active area available for our piece of card. If we were to put it up into this corner, you're going to lose out on some of this edge here and here, so you might miss some details. Now there's quite a good clear border on this design, but that's just something to bear in mind if something is a little closer. Get into the habit and you'll do it kind of second nature to just go, okay, 1 inch in, 1 inch down. Okay, so let's pop that onto our machine. So we're going to go over to our machine, and we'll remove our blade, because it'll be good, and get our mat, offer it up to the machine, and then we're going to press the mat load button. That is if it hasn't already gone off to sleep. Wake up. Okay. Snoozy machine. I'll load that in. Now today we are blessed with very brilliant sunshine, so I am doing the kind of cardinal sin of having a light at the back of my machine. So we'll see how we go. But it's such a lovely sunny day, we don't want to shut it out. So let's first of all go to scan and direct cut, because we want to cut out the same piece of card. We'll use the machine, and then you're going to see that we have 12x12 at colour, and to be honest, with this particular design, that is perfect setup. But if it isn't for you, just go into the settings and you can set in here. So we've got different scan areas that we can choose. So we've got 12x6, 12x12, and if you're using the larger mat, you can use the 12x18 and the 12x24. Okay, so we'll go okay, and let's go start. And this is going to scan all the way through and back again. So no need to tap the mat back in like we're used to. It's just nice and simple, and we can just go ahead. So we'll frame our image, and it's actually easier for me to see this on screen than what it is in real life, so I'll do that. And let's just get this bit here, just drag that in. So you want to just kind of get this on the edges of the card. We'll go OK. So press OK. And it's going to think about it. And there we go. So it's pulled out some of that detail, but it hasn't quite got everything. So we can actually give it a little bit of a helping hand. So if we go into number of colours, sometimes going down is going to help. So if we go down to 2 and preview, you can see that we pull out more of that detail. It's still not perfect yet. So let's try 3. Getting better. That's about the same. Let's see if we take it up to about 10, if that makes it any better. That's not looking bad now. So we can see that we've got kind of most of that detail is going to be cut out. One more for measure, I think, and that should do it. Okay, so because this is going to be quite intricate, I'm going to go to my vinyl blade so that we have the right angle for the detail. We'll go OK. If you want to add an offset, you can do. I'm going to go for the least amount we can do. OK. And let's go OK again. I want to go to cut. And pressure -3, I think I'll stick with that. Speed of 1. No, where we go. Okay, so we've done our cut, we've checked it's cut, and I've removed it from the machine. So I just wanted to show how easy it is to peel this away. So I haven't detacked the mat at all since first opening it, so this is literally as it comes. Usually what I say with cutting mats is if you dab them with a t-shirt first, just to take the initial stick off. But with these you don't need to necessarily. and let's see if we can find palette knife. I put it somewhere safe. So I'm going to use a metal palette knife, and what that means is we can get underneath our card rather than butting up to the edge and potentially damaging our cut file. So let me get... Now I do have another of these to one side so that I can see where these pieces all go, but we can also shift pieces around if we want as well to make our own kind of design. Let's get the big butterfly off next. So get it underneath, and all I'm doing is giving a little twist to the palette knife so that I can kind of release it from that backing. So gently lift it off. And move these pieces away too. There we go. And little bits you can either pick up with your lint roller or just very gently get underneath with your palette knife. Okay, so there we go. First cut done with our brand new mat, and the scan is perfect, so it stayed in, doesn't fall out, and that's the same whether we do it through direct cut, through ScanNCut data, or even background scan. So when we're actually working with papers, offcuts on the mat, we can use background scan to position our shapes without necessarily tracing them. So your scan is going to be when you're tracing, and background scan is going to be when you're just using it as a kind of a guide to help you position your shapes. So once you're done with your mat, you want to reapply your backing paper just so that you keep your mat nice and clean. And there we go. Thank you for watching with me today, and I hope you will enjoy your Artistix mats. Thank you for now, and bye. So what I'm going to do now is work from the top down. So again, we're going to want to peel away our backing paper. And again, put this to one side, set it somewhere clean where it isn't going to get any kind of dog fur, cat fur, human hair, dust, you name it, it'll cling to it. So we don't want to put any of that back onto our mat. Super sticky, I'm going to struggle to get it back off. Okay, so with my nice sticky mat now revealed, now I am working onto a brand new mat, and what I'm going to be working with is some kind of satin sheen paper. So it's not quite gloss, it's not quite matte, it's between the two. Okay, and it has 3 panels, so we have the top panel and 2 smaller panels. Now we could do this with a trimmer, and we might even be lucky enough to get it right on that join. Unlikely, we're human. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop it just in from the top and in from the left hand side. So we can't do our full inch in and down because otherwise we're going to be off the end of our mat. Now, if we bear in mind that we've got this section here, let's peel this off actually. And if you're working with something where it's a bit flimsier, so this is quite flimsy, you just want to flip it over and we're going to peel it from the back, and that should save on a lot of the distortion on our card. There we go. Doesn't hurt our mat. So just because I got this top edge here, I'm going to bring this up a little further. Still going to bring this into the left hand edge. In actual fact, we could go, there we go. So we're going 1 inch in from the side, but I'm lining that up right up to the top edge. Okay, so we've got our paper down, and just gently tap it if there's anywhere that just needs a little press down. We don't want to be going full body weight, otherwise we'll never get it off. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my machine. We're going to wake it back up because it's gone back off to sleep. It's very lazy today. Home to reset. Okay, and we're going to pop onto the mat just a square. So it could be square, could be rectangle, could be any design you want, but we need to get a design onto our mat so that we can enable the background scan. So into basic shapes, and the panel I'm working with is about this kind of proportion, and I'm just going to leave it at that size and go OK. We can then get our mat, offer it up to the rollers, press the mat load button, and it's going to load first time for us. Okay, we're going to use this button here, which is background scan. That's then going to say that it's going to be taken through and back again. Let's go. And there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to take that box and we're going to resize it. So let's go to edit, object edit, resize, and let's make it bigger. Now remember, it's going to resize from that center point outwards. So I'm going to roughly get that in the center. Okay, so it's closer to this edge than this one, but it's not too far off top and bottom, so I'm going to use the ratio button, and let's just stretch that out a little. Okay, now I'm going to use my nudge to just nudge that into place. Like so. And we can add additional shapes. So let's go OK, add, and this time we might go for an oval. I'm going to scroll down to an oval. Add it to my mat. Now, if you're struggling to see where your shape is, we can go to settings and we can make that scan lighter and go OK. We can then see where our shape lines up. So we could do our oval that way round, or we can rotate it and make it bigger. So I'm going to go into Edit, Object Edit, Resize. Let's make this first one smaller, just a touch, and go OK. I'm going to go to number, set that number to 2. That's going to add another copy on our mat. We can drag this over here. We can go to rotate it 90 degrees. OK. Resize, and we're going to take that bigger. OK. And again, we can go to nudge if we need to, just to center that onto our rectangle, like so. Just going to do that again on this one. I'm going to go to our big rectangle, Object Edit, number to 2, and I need that about half the size. So let's do this a bit quicker, shall we? Percent. I'm going to take it down to 50. Not quite that far. There we go. Like so. I might need a little bit bigger, but we'll see how we go. So I'm going to move that down here. Might need to be a little bit smaller in width and longer in length. So let's resize. We're going to go to percentage, and we're going to also press the ratio button. So we want the width to be slightly smaller, and we want the height to be about double. Oop, don't overshoot the mark. Okay, so you should now have something that looks like that. And we can move that down. Go OK. Get 2 of those, because we want one for this side too. Okay. Now we're going to make use of multi-select, and we're going to use our window. I want those 2 shapes there. Go OK. Move, align, center and middle. OK. Going to go to multi-select again, tap off those shapes so nothing is selected. We're going to go to window again, move that across, move that down. OK. Move, align, center and middle. Okay. So those 2 now are in the right place. It may just need a slight move, so let's just do a little nudge this way and this way. Okay. So let's get my, we can do this either with the vinyl blade or with the auto blade, because we're working with basic shapes. I think I'm just going to nudge this top box up just a little, like so. Maybe extend it just slightly in terms of its height. Okay, put that scan back in so we can see a little bit better. If we're struggling to see the positioning, if we go into either the zoom here, or if we're going to move and zoom, then we can get a bit of a better view. So we can see here that we're missing that bit of the artist signature down there, so I'm just going to nudge that down. Okay, I'm going to scroll down the page and just check out the other shapes as well. That's looking pretty good, so I'll go okay, okay, okay. Might just lighten that pressure a little. And there we go. Okay. So okay, so now we can peel away our waste paper first. This may tear just because of the shape. That's fine. There we go. And now we can use our palette knife to ease away our cut pieces. So we just want to do a little gentle twist, and then, as before, flip it over, and we're going to do little bit by little bit. There we go. And we have our first piece cut. So what we can do with this piece is we can stick it onto a contrasting piece of card. So you want something that's going to contrast to the white area here, the dark area down here, and then we can use offset to actually cut around that for us. So let's get these other bits. So again, I'm going really careful because some of these frame elements are going to be a bit more fragile. Especially where it gets really narrow here. So I'm just going to give this bit of a helping hand, like so. There we go. So we've got an outside frame, and then we have an inside oval that we can mount onto card and actually 3D up. And then you can use offset again on that one if you wish. You don't have to. And there we go. So another two there, one to go. And this time, remember, our oval goes the other way around. So we've got something a bit more substantial on the end here, but it's going to get thinner here. So just take it slowly as you get past that fragile point. Get palette knife underneath, release, do the same this side, and then you shouldn't find that your frame tears so much. There we go. So then we have our frame piece and then our center panel that we can layer over the top. Now you do want to flatten these out before running them through something like a iron to make them sticky, or if you want to apply tape, wouldn't advise wet glue for this type of project, because you're more likely to see the tracks of the glue come through the printing, which we don't want. There we go. So again, if there's any bits on the mat, just give it a little clean. Sometimes it can pick up a little bit of debris from outside your machine as well, so that's worth checking. Okay, let's just get that little bit of fluff. There we go. And we're going to apply our backing paper over the top. So you can see how easy it is to load and work with this mat without having to do lots of special prep. As your mat gets a bit more dusty, then you can use a lint roller over the top. Never use a baby wipe or a water wipe on your mat, otherwise you can find it actually dissolves your adhesive. So while that's fine to do on a rubber mat, I would not recommend doing it to an Artistix mat. So it's just taking care of it a little bit differently, and it's going to last you so much longer. Okay, thank you for joining me, and bye.